So, like Margie said, my name is Megan Nguyen, and I am a student at Regis University, and I'm doing my work study here at DJPC as the program assistant. So, perfect. I can't see. Okay. So I was charged by Jerry and Connie to make the presentation and now present the update for the 2013 year. So when I began thinking about DJPC, it only made sense to use a tree, since this is a grassroots organization. Since every strong tree starts out from the roots, up here we are at the roots of our tree, the members. All of these faces truly make up the Denver Justice and Peace Committee. And without all of you, the organization would crumble. Next, we can reflect on the 9 insightful salons from January up to October. The salons really serve as the fruit of the organization, allowing us to nourish our members and continue to generate discussions around current peace and justice issues in Latin America. Here are just a few photos from the 2013 salons. First is the Guatemalan at the Crossroads in July. Next, we have the Honduran delegation in May. And finally, Newmont mining in Cajamarca, Peru in September. A vital branch to our tree is the socialization and community building through potlucks and fundraisers. Here we have a few pictures from the Spring Build for Peace and also a recent potluck. Another vital branch to our strong tree is advocacy and nonviolent activism. Without their commitment to mobilizing and educating our own DJPC members and our congressional delegation on issues of human rights and social and economic justices that pertain to Latin America, we would not be able to be a successful organization. A notable effort was made by this committee in their Fast Tracks campaign effort from February until October. MindWatch has become a sturdy branch in our growing tree here at DJPC. By doing presentations around the community, their monthly action days marked the March on the Peruvian Consulate, connecting with new Peruvian human rights groups, and the members visiting mining regions in Peru and other Latin American countries. We have a few pictures of the different mining things. Perfect. Here are a group of, where are we? I can't see. Oh, perfect. Okay, that's where I wanted to be. Okay, here is a group of DJPC members in June after the march to the Peruvian Consulate. In July, we bannered at the Capitol to stop open pit mining in Latin America. Now on to marches and demonstrations. We participate in the community in conjunction with other like-minded organizations. Here, December 10th, we participated in the International Human Rights Day. In January, we participated in the MLK Parade. And in October, we joined with the Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition. Well, that's the shakedown of this year's DJPC update. Now on to the recipients of the award, the real reason that you guys came out here tonight. Just as a recap, here is a photo of the winners from last year. And now this year's winner. I'll let Margie take it away.
And this year's recipient, as we all know, is Rick Clifford. So Rick, we want you to come up too. And as you saw in the program, Rick is a great example of a DJPC member. Was a human rights accompanier. He's been, long before he was a human rights accompanier, he was active on Central American and Latin American issues. He was a human rights accompanier in Guatemala. He returned and he's helped us do fundraisers, he served on the board, and more recently has gotten involved in MindWatch's activities and spent time in Peru and also in Mexico learning more about the mining situation there, doing presentations about the situation. So a great example, John, of people who are receiving the John Proctor Award. So, congratulations, Rick. We're John and probably has a couple words to say.
Well, thanks for that introduction, Connie. And just this morning, I received a crown from my dentist, so this is a nice bookend to my day to get the John Proctor Award and have John here with us. So hopefully the numbness is wearing off and I'll be able to pronounce every word correctly. But I did want to start out by saying that what I'm wearing tonight is called a barong, and in the Philippines this is a traditional ceremonial shirt that the men wear. And we were talking about the environment before, and I think we have to recognize that in Tacloban and Visayas, we're entering a new era, and these typhoons and tsunamis, the typhoons and hurricanes are on steroids that we as collectively create through our carbon emissions. And I think the sooner we come to realize the connection, the quicker we'll get towards plotting a course towards a solution. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about my own background, because I am 1/16 Filipino, 1/16 Chinese, 1/8 Spanish, and 3/4 Irish. So if you know about the Irish temper, it's a surprise that I've gotten a Peace Award, because I think the Irish are known for their, let's say, as my dad used to say, is this a private fight or can anybody join in? So DJPC has been a good influence on me and tempered some of that Irish ancestry. And I think the other part of being Irish is that we're considered to be quite lucky. And I would say that it is true that over the years, in first grade, I narrowly escaped being run over because my older brother and some friends from the neighborhood, we used to race to school. And when we got to the highway, they would pretend like they were going to run across, and I thought they were actually crossing, and I didn't want to lose the race, so I ran out into the middle of the highway and dodged, or two cars dodged me, let's say. And there are plenty more stories like that through my life where I think, were it not for the luck of the Irish, I would not be speaking to you this evening. One in Guatemala that comes to mind is when Pancho from the AJR, he's one of the lawyers, we were driving down into Ilom, one of the communities where I accompanied in 2003, and there had been a lot of friction between the what were called ex-PACs. PACs were these Guatemalan men that were forced to do military service for a lot of the dirty work during the genocide in Guatemala. And people who survived the genocide were also getting some money from the government, and there was talk of not having enough money to go around, and so someone was going to lose their little, let's say, check from the government. And so as we drove down into the town, Pancho looks over and said, say your prayers because this could get ugly. And when you say that in Guatemala, that means something. But luckily, the situation was diffused, and as is often the case, I think neither side ended up being very happy, but no violence broke out that day in Ilom, in the Ixil region, where I accompanied with a couple of different people, a European woman from Germany, and then a man from Seattle, Kim Bush, who was a lifelong activist. He was in his late 50s when he was working with me down in Guatemala, and a real mentor and someone who's, put a lifetime's worth of work into human rights. He passed away a few years ago, but I did want to mention him. And in addition to mentioning Kim, I wanted to, now that the case in Guatemala is, well, it was going forward, and we did have a decision, and for 10 days, Rios Montt was guilty of genocide and in jail back in late May. But not surprisingly, maybe, the powers of Guatemala, higher courts and probably influential behind-the-scenes people have turned things back, and now the case is put in reverse, and we're not sure, but Jonas tells me that January of 2014 may be 2015 may be the date they'll start the case back up, so stay tuned. Finally, I was lucky enough last year during my sabbatical to go to Cajamarca, Peru, where I was lucky enough to meet some incredible people working for the nonprofit Grufides, which is one of our award-winning organizations. Worked with Mirta Vasquez, a lawyer who supports these small communities that are trying to fight back against massive corporations like Newmont. And I hold up this picture because I think we've all had this history lesson of Francisco Pizarro and the Spanish capturing Chief Atahualpa and putting him in prison. And he says, "Will you let me go if I bring this much gold and fill this room with gold?" And the Spanish say, "Sure." And many carts of gold are brought in from all over what is now Peru. And they did fill the Salón de Rescate with gold, and then they killed Atahualpa, Chief Atahualpa, afterwards. And things haven't changed all that much if we just put the mining corporation here, where we see Pizarro, and the Peruvian people here. We're seeing kind of the same thing. The people of South America are kind of held hostage to this economy where they have to exploit their natural resources, and not always at a great price. And the long-term effects of the exploitation of any open pit mine, we don't need to look much further than our own backyard to find out what happens when you have these massive open pit mines leaching the heavy metals, and cyanide is used in the process of pulling the gold out of the crushed rock. So we're dealing with some serious poisons, and I think the society needs to consider how much in the way of resources do we really need versus how much does the world economy demand that we give it. So I'd just like to also say that the Chaupe family, I got a chance to spend some time with them. They are up in the area where they want to put the Conga gold mine. It's the headwaters for 5 major rivers down in Peru. And the Chaupe family is holding on to the last piece of land that the mining company wants. And if they can get that, they can build probably the second biggest copper gold mine in the Western Hemisphere. And they are under great duress, and they're fighting a very valiant battle against Newmont and really the Peruvian national government. But they do take great comfort in knowing that people around the world, here in the headquarters where Newmont, they're just down the freeway there, where they operate, and I had a chance to spend an evening with them and meet all the farmers who also support the Chaupes in their struggles against Newmont mining. So thank you very much again for the honor of having the John Proctor Award, and I feel like, well, I'm in good company. The former winners, a lot of you are here, and I'm proud to be part of that group. Thank you.
The Denver Justice and Peace Committee presents the 2013 John Proctor Member of the Year Award to Rick Clifford. in recognition of your dedication to promoting justice in the Americas and your tireless commitment to the work of solidarity. With all our hearts, we thank you, admire you, and support your efforts to create a more just and peaceful future. Saturday, November 16, 2013.